My son was born. We had a 3-year-old, and at 6 days old, we found out that he had to have open heart surgery, and life as I knew it seemed to not matter anymore. Who's ever been doing real estate and you're working 18-hour days, and all of a sudden you look up and everything that you thought was important is no longer important? Well, each day I had to make it. Wow, I'm getting choked up. It's been a while. Each day I had to make a decision. Do I go to the hospital that day or go to work? Who thinks I got to a spot where I didn't want to have to be in that position again the next time life punched me in the jaw? So it was at that moment that I made a decision that I was going to figure out this money game. Who here besides me has made way too much money to be this broke? Fair? So I love that the gentleman in the icon talked about knowing your numbers, knowing your math. You'll see right here, I got saying it so many times that I had a client once where I drew it with Sharpie and it said, what are we going to talk about today, the drama, or are we going to talk about the math? Most of you, your math doesn't work, therefore you're not winning. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I'm by far the best looking person in here, right? I got the best hair. And what are we at with raising money? Where are we at? 4,600. So if we don't get to 5,600 within 10 minutes, I'm doing the rest of the thing with my shirt off. When we surpass 5,600, Andy, stand up. This dude's a beast. He'll take his shirt off. No, but seriously, everybody reach in. I'm going to ask, do me a favor. I drove from Kalamazoo. If you haven't put your 10 bucks in, put your 10 bucks in. If 10 bucks is like $1,000 to 100,000, just let me know. I'll give you the 10 bucks back. Because there are times in our life where $10 is like $10,000, right? Who can relate to that? So here's what I'm going to ask that you do. Imagine going to a Hoo Day. Is that what you say here?
Yes.
I was told to come here and say Hoo Day. I thought it'd be much more exciting. Like, oh wait, oh, there we go. All right, go Boo. Anyways, now notice what I did right there. I got you off neutral. You either think I'm funny or you think I should be escorted out. One of the things I want you to do is embrace yourself and turn up the volume and get people off of neutral. And so let's talk about some of the math right there. I'm not the sharpest pencil, so I've had a tattoo of my business principles on me, and one of them is 50-25-1. I want to get in front of 50 people a day and get them off neutral. You either like me or you don't like me, but you won't be neutral. You will remember me. You get 50 people a day to at least have an opinion on you and judge you. They're either going to like you or not like you, but they'll remember you. That's 18,000 over the course of the year. Who thinks with 18,000 connections, you might be able to reach your goals?
Yeah.
So what I want you to consider, what is your goal? And if you don't know what your goal is, it's tough to hit the target. And most people, what they're doing is more is the answer. Here's another tattoo right here. Subtraction leads to multiplication. Many of you need to subtract some things. Who started working out with buyers when you first started? Start working with buyers, and you're like, listings, ooh, that's kind of nice. And you subtract working with this many buyers to working more listings because there's leverage. What I want you to understand is, what is your next pillar post? When do you subtract? Because if you just keep adding, something's going to give. Who's had something give, like family or kids or anything else? I was talking to Brian Ellington, who's a huge win for our company, along with Andrew. Andrew, thank you for all that you did here. I was telling Brian, I took a little bit of a step back the last couple of years because through 25 years of entrepreneurship, right now I have an 11-year-old, a 15-year-old, and an 18-year-old. Who thinks that life's going by really fast right now?
Yeah.
The nice thing is I've been able to subtract and subtract and subtract, yet you know what hasn't changed is my net life income number. Now you might be thinking, what's your net life income number? Find a number where if you make that number each and every year for the rest of your life, there's nothing that you're not able to do. Set up a game plan to be able to hit that number, follow the game plan, and stop feeling your money. And here's what I mean by that. Who's ever started making more money than you let off the gas pedal, and then you end up in that roller coaster? In fact, I'm looking for the people right now that really want to win with revenue share. Don't stand up if you're not willing to be uncomfortable. If you want to win with revenue share in the next year, you're going to have to get a little bit uncomfortable. Who would agree with that?
Yeah.
So if you are, stand up. So if you're committed, you're willing to give up looking good at being right. Everybody put their hands in the air. This will be your last roller coaster in real estate. Now, some of you are going to try harder than others, and I want you to make the biggest idiot of yourself that you can. You ready? What do you do when you first go on a roller coaster? Click, 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 click. Yeah, you know what? If that's what you guys are going to show up for revenue share, you're going to lose. Take a seat. No, seriously. I'm being dead serious right now. The second that you guys felt judged, the second that you felt that you were a little bit uncomfortable, you guys didn't show up with energy. Fair or unfair?
Fair.
If you don't bring the right energy and enthusiasm to what you're doing, you're not going to win. I'm looking for one brave soul. Right there. Come on up here. Come on up here. I love it. Now we got some talent up here. What's that? Oh, Mabel?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. You're doing something different. You look great. I'm trying not to get myself in trouble here. So, you guys know Michelle. Let's give her a round of applause. So let's talk about Audie. Who's better looking, Michelle?
Woo!
Hey. I mean, I'm married and interested in girls, but you know, that energy will get you somewhere. Who do you think's smarter, Michelle?
Woo!
Hey. Here's what I want to get across. She's smarter. She's better looking. I think she probably has a better personality. She beats me in every area. Michelle, how many do you have in your rev share?
I know.
How many?
50?
50. You know why? Because I was committed and consistent, and she hasn't been yet.
Correct.
Because, Michelle, you win in everything that you do, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. So here's what I want you guys to leave with. If I can do it, you guys can do it. You got to be committed. You got to be willing to be consistent. So we're going to get you to commit today. Do you like looking good and being right?
Yes.
Okay. Monica, is this true? By the way, the only reason I'm here is because of Monica Weekly. She called me up. And when you have 8 relationships and they ask you to do something, you say yes. You do. You help your relationships win and you say yes, they're going to help you win. I can tell you last week I was thinking, how do I bail from this? I did. I like being with my family. I like being home. So, Michelle, here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
How important is it to you to win with revenue share? Scale of 0, 10, you want to pass me and be like
10.
10. All right. So here's what you're going to do. Can you follow a schedule?
Yes.
Perfect. How many listing appointments do you think you've been on
In my life?
in your life? 25 years of it.
Wow.
That's how old she was. That was my.
We got you.
I'm trying to like
We got you.
do grit over here, and he's funny. I'm not.
It's the accent.
1,000. Have you ever missed a listing appointment?
No.
No. So here's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna encourage all of us to do this. If you haven't won already, and you're not like a Gene Frederick, I mean, let's give Gene a round of applause. If somebody like Gene doesn't have the cojones, can I say cojones?
Yes.
Yeah.
If somebody like Gene doesn't have the cojones to come over here with a couple hundred agents, none of us have this opportunity that we have here in the room. And I know some of you have some pretty big butts. Like, yeah, but he came early, it was easier. No, it wasn't. I've written checks to help open up states. That's you making excuses. So, Michelle, here's what we're going to do. Right here is tattooed my business principles. It's called the success code. First thing we got to do is get skill set. So are you lacking skill set? Do you have the same level of skill set with talking to an agent as you do a home seller?
No.
Okay. So the thing that we get the biggest ROI on is our skill set. So the first thing that you're going to work on is how do you get as good with agents as you do with your listings? Because until you're as good with your agents as you are listings, you're not going to have the confidence. So, how many practice listing presentations have you been on with agents, meaning for agent attraction?
fair amount. 50?
Michelle, can I pick on you?
Yes, that's why I'm here.
Who loves Michelle here?
Yes.
So if I pick on her too much, you guys are going to come at me. So, Michelle, you need to know your numbers. I want you to be able to say what
I
I've
don't
got
know.
on 93.
You're right, I don't know.
So here's what everybody write down. If you're committed to winning with revenue share every single day in a Google Doc, write in the date, write in your front line, write in your FLQAs, write in how much revenue share is coming in, your total organization, because your subconscious mind is going to get sick and tired of those numbers not changing. Let me say it again. Until you commit and you get your subconscious mind bought into it, you're going to lose. You're competitive, aren't you?
Yes.
So here's the commitment. Every single day that you work, you're going to put your numbers in an Excel spreadsheet or Google sheet.
Okay.
Agreeable or not agreeable?
Agreeable.
Oh my gosh, you say you're, and Michelle, I'm going to pick that.
I know
You say you're
are.
committed.
You've scared me before.
I can promise you this. If 5 years from now, every single day that you work, you're up over 1,000 entries into it, I promise you will win because you do not lose. Is that fair?
Fair.
Fair. So write your numbers because your subconscious will get tired of losing. It will say, let's go fix this. You've got to be committed. So then here's the next thing that you're going to do.
So every day.
Every day that you're in the office, so every day that I'm in, I put my numbers in. So I know exactly
Because
what it is.
everything I'm going to do, Monica's going to do too.
Yes. 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 Accountability.
Hold on, I got to take a phone.
So here's what we're going to do. I know the math, and if you are a Gene Frederick where you're going to go all in and do 40 hours a week, let's set you up for a win. Who believes that they could do 1 hour a day? Raise your hand. 1 hour a day. Now let's look at the math. Michelle, how long have you been with EXP?
I don't even know that.
Oh my gosh, Michelle. You're killing me.
3 years?
3 years. Okay, so we'll do easy math. If she did 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, times 50 is what?
250.
250. 250 times 3 is what?
750.
750. Who thinks after 750 hours, she knows the math equation, she has the skill set, she has the time on task, she's no longer experimenting, she knows if I do this, then this will happen. She'll get some victories, and when she gets her victories, she'll have confidence, and when Michelle has confidence, she's going to win.
Yeah.
Get an amen.
Yeah.
So here's what you're going to commit to. You're going to commit to first taking it easy. 1 hour a day, held accountable in court. Meaning, if somebody says July 18th, 2026, you'll be able to say, I can tell you what I did every hour on the hour for that hour that's being held accountable. I just confused you. I confused myself. So 5 hours a week, you're going to schedule 5 1-hour appointments.
Okay.
5 years from now, you need to be able to say, pick a week, pick a year, pick a day. I'll be able to tell you exactly what I did that hour.
5 1-hour appointments.
5 1-hour appointments a week, 5 years straight. I promise you, you will be winning. What's more important, consistency or intensity?
Consistency.
If I go to the gym and I work out really hard for 30 days but don't work out the rest of the time, it doesn't matter how intense I was. If I go to the gym and I work out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 5 years, who thinks I'd be proud of taking my shirt off up here?
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
What are you going to do there during those hours? The number one thing that you're getting an ROI on first is skill set to make sure you're as good as a listing agent as you are with attracting agents here. Who needs some improvement when it comes to your skill set with attraction? Say ah.
Aye.
So here's what I want you to do. The book that's coming out is called Fix It. If you have a problem, address it and then fix it. Michelle, I bet you in 22 hours, as soon as you realize that how you list homes isn't that much different than how you agent attract, same problems. You're not treating symptoms, you're treating the actual problem. How many of you go to list a home and they tell you, well, here's why I'm selling, only to find out that there's a bigger issue going on?
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things I want you to be able to do with agents is get to their true problems. Help people outside of just selling real estate. Maybe they just went through a divorce. Maybe they're dealing with the loss of a child. Go help them and be human. In fact, write that down. Be human. Say that with me. Be human. I'm looking for referrals. I'm not looking for leads. So, first thing you're going to do is you're going to work on skill set. So every hour that you're there, work on skill set. And then once you feel you have it, the number one thing I want you to be doing is talking to another human being about EXP. How many of you would like some reps before you go and talk to somebody real quick? So did I. I called up my lender. I said, hey, Brian, can I pitch EXP on you so I can get some practice? What do you think he said? Sure.
15.
So I pitched Brian on EXP. You know what Brian did? He went and bought $76,000 worth of stock after hearing how excited I was. Now think about that. What was the stock at back in 2017?
Yeah.
It was like $3. He sold the stock at over $1 million. Who thinks that Brian's very happy that I talked to him about EXP?
Yeah.
Now, what Brian has done is because he's a big lender, he put some people in a headlock referral and said, you need to join EXP through Hank, and if you don't, you're cut off. Who wants headlock referrals like that?
Yeah.
So are you looking for leads or are you looking for referrals? And if you're human and go help people, they will help you. So, Michelle, after you get some confidence, you're no longer working on skill set. Here's what I want you to do. Meet with an agent. Your number one thing that you should be doing is meeting with someone. If you're not meeting with someone, then you're booking a call. We call it have a call, book a call. Say it with me.
Have a call, book a call.
Say it again. Have a call, book a call. And then what will happen is every time that you're having a call, you'll get some more confidence. As you get some more confidence, then you'll get some momentum. And all you got to do at that point is follow your schedule. Don't think about it. Think you can do that?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm coming up on $3 million received through revenue share by doing this. It's pretty cool. Right? Now, I've spent no more than 5 hours a week building this, and here's why. I know my numbers, I know my scoreboard. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is, what are your revenue streams? What comes from transactional business? What comes from recurring business? What comes from leverage business? And I want you to look at where you're spending your time. When I met with my accountant, EXP hit $10,000. I asked him, I said, hey, now that we hit $10,000, it's a real revenue stream. What should we do different or subtract? He asked me this question. If you continue doing what you're doing, what is it that you don't achieve? In fact, write that question down. It's the most powerful question you can ask yourself. If you continue doing what you're doing, so Michelle, I'm going to ask you, if you continue doing what you're doing, what is it you don't achieve?
Freedom.
Freedom. So whenever you can answer something like freedom, then you need to fix it. Right now, the reason I don't speak much anymore, Brian, the reason I don't do much anymore, the most important thing for me right now is that time with my 11-year-old, 15-year-old, and 18-year-old, because it's going fast. So here's what I do. If I continue doing what I'm doing, what is it I don't achieve? Nothing. Do you know how much it disrupted my life to move coaching clients, to come down here, to drive back? It's not worth it for me. Here's what is worth it for me. Monica Weekly, wherever she is.
She ran away.
And here's why. So many are looking for an easier way, and I know this. If I know where I'm going, I can create a schedule that will get me there. What do I do to make the pain of not following my schedule greater than following? So, Michelle, how much money would you like to make in revenue share?
I want to make $3 million.
Perfect. $3 million. Now, this has taken me since 2016. Now, I've only spent 5 hours a week, much to Gene's dismay. Gene probably thinks I'm an idiot. I came here for one reason. Freedom. I've got a ton of freedom. Now, here's my rules if you join through me. You'll never be able to say I wasn't there for you. You won't outwork me or produce me. You get 3 strikes, you pay. First time you waste my time, I warn you. Second time, I educate you. Third time, I never talk to you again. If somebody's not resourceful and they could have gone into the world and get the answer, that's a strike. Because the math doesn't work if you have 1,000 people and everybody expects you to be answering $2 an hour questions. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
And not everybody likes that, but you're not coming here for another job, you're coming for freedom. So here's what I believe. Let's call $50,000 a month because I know you know how to make $50,000 a month.
Yes.
So who has a calculator?
Yes.
50 times 12 is what? 600. 600 divided by 50 is what?
12.
600,000 divided by 50 is what? 12,000. 12,000 divided by 5 is what?
That's 400.
What is it? $2,400. How much time do we have?
10.
10. All right, so I'm going to tell my 18-year-old who was 15, I used to drive to gymnastics every day. And I was like, hey, Henry, I could use some help. And Henry's an engineer, pretty straight-laced, like complete opposite of me. And I was like, Henry, I'm having a problem. He says, okay, Dad, what is it? I go, you go to work at the pizza store, and how much do you make an hour? He goes, $10. I said, if you go to your job and you don't do your job, how long will you have your job? He goes, is this a trick question? I go, no. He goes, well, I'd be fired most likely by the end of the day, or I might be given a second chance, and the next day I'd be fired. I said, interesting. I said, Henry, I'm having some trouble with some adults that I run with, of them not doing their job. He goes, well, tell me more. So I have this friend of mine, Michelle. Are you guys recording this?
Yes.
I have my friend Michelle, who has a job of 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. And if she does that 5 years from now, she'll probably never have to work again and will probably be making $50,000 a month. What's the likelihood of that happening? Who knows rev share numbers here? Monica, if she does 5 hours a week, 50 weeks for 5 years, is there a good chance she's making $50,000 a month? Minimum. So Michelle, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn up the volume. First time you miss, I get paid $2,400. So I'm your new accountability partner. Now, Michelle, I'll make about since 2016, you could pick any year since 2016. Pick a year.
28.
28. Pick a month.
January.
January. Pick a. It's got to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday because I work 3 days a week.
Okay.
Pick a day at January.
January 27th.
January 27th, 2018. Do you like to bet?
Yes.
Okay. How much do you want to bet? Well, let me tell you what it is first. I can tell you what I've done every hour on the hour on January 28th, 27th, 2018. You tell me how much you want to bet me, and I'll back it up with my phone.
I'm not going to bet that much.
Bet it.
Here's why. Who thinks I had confidence that I knew what I did every hour in the hour and would stand up in court?
Yeah.
I'm not that special. You know what I'm able to do? Create a schedule, follow it, get feedback, rinse, repeat until I figure out how to win. Michelle, if you can stand up here 5 years from now and make a bet with somebody like that, you'll be making $50,000 a month. Now, results aren't equal. We've already determined that better looking at everything else. So here's what we're going to do. $2,400. I want you to feel that pain if you choose not to do it. The thing with listing appointments, you feel that pain if you don't go on it. So just like he was saying, if you don't show that buyer at that time, 50% of the buyers fall out. So what you got to be able to do is feel that pain right away, because what we're doing is we don't like to feel unconfident. So we go make that $15,000 listing appointment instead of that $2,400 attraction appointment. So Michelle, are you up for a challenge?
Apparently.
5 days a week. 5 days a week. 1 hour a day. If I call you up, you got to bring up your calendar. You got to be able to tell me what you did, who you did it with, and then show it via Zoom link or some IP that you actually did it. Something to prove that you were there, like it'll hold up in court. If not, you've got it. You've got to Venmo me $2,400. And by the way, I'll give it to Extended Care. Are we there yet?
We are at 5,400. Come on. I'm definitely not going to
All right, thank you. Very much. I didn't shave my back or anything, so thank you all. So are you up for the challenge? $2,400.
Clearly we're here.
I'll donate the money to Extended Hand. $2,400, 5 days a week, 50 weeks. Are you up for it?
I get myself.
Let's go. Let's go.
Who would like her to speak next year up on stage and her give the numbers of, I made this many outbound calls.
Woo!
I had this many appointments. I brought in this many people. Fair or unfair?
That's fair.
Okay, perfect. How much time do we have?
It's fair.
5.
Can I give you a strategy?
You better.
So Michelle's awesome. I'm going to suggest that you get outside of your area code for some of this. Who thinks that Michelle would be able to help other team leaders in other areas?
Yeah.
So you're going to go to your Chamber of Commerce and find the top 10 referral cities of Cincinnati. You're going to go find partners that are 4 or 5 years behind you and just go help and serve them. And here's your script. I know I learn more by helping others do what I'm doing, and I might be a little bit further along. I know if I help 2 people, 2 of them will come to EXP. I don't know which 2, so it affords me to serve all 10. The only condition on me helping you is that if you do choose to come to EXP, I get in that back. Here's what I know. You surround yourself with like-minded people. Help them get what they want. EXP is a natural progression. Where I went wrong, I wanted to help more people, so I went all EXP, and it actually hurt me. I should have stayed in my lane and served. I help people win before they come to the company, and then the EXP was a natural progression. There's lots of different ways to do it. Gene says, don't recruit them, just get to know them. Where is Gene? Gene, if you would have just answered my questions, I would have joined through you. And now Gene's the go. He's the top guy.
Woo!
When I met with Gene, he wouldn't answer my questions. He just wanted to get to know me. Somebody else answered my questions, and I chose the wrong sponsor. But guess what? I didn't blame my sponsor. My sponsor wasn't who I wanted. So we joined the EXP family tree and made it not about your upline. And I joined with some other alphas that felt like we didn't have the sponsors that we were looking for. So rather than complain about it, we went and fixed it and became the greater good for the community. We now have 8,500 people in there. So here's what I'm going to ask that you do. There's lots of problems here. Go help fix the problem if there's a problem with the EXP rather than complain about it. Who wants to bet that if Michelle does this over the next year, she will be winning? Say out.
Aye.
So, Andrew, can Michelle speak next year if she does her 50?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if she doesn't, she's going to write a check for $50,000 to accept.
Woo!
Right now.
No, I'm not. Here's why. No.
Okay.
Who thinks I'm going to be there to help her and I want to see her win?
Yes.
What some of you haven't done is what is the cost of not doing it? Michelle will work harder not to write that check than she will to go begging. Yes, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
She will.
So, Michelle, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week for 50 weeks, and you don't have to write a check up here for $50,000 and be like, what's up now? It's Shanahan. Where are the bosses? All you gotta do is follow your schedule. You never miss listing appointments.
Whew. But all you gotta do is.
Hey, did she volunteer to be uncomfortable?
What?
Yeah.
I forgot who was standing up here.
Well, here's the thing: is how many of you need to turn up the volume and realize what's at risk? So we're gonna leave with this story. Let's, by the way, let's give a round of applause. So let's talk about what RevShare does real quick. My father-in-law, who lives next door, was diagnosed with lung disease, and we ended up helping him go to hospice. At that moment, I was able to take a step back and not have to worry about making money for my family, and I was able to help him and pass with dignity. 15 years ago, when my son had open heart surgery, I said, never again, when I get punched in the face, will I have to make a decision based on cash flow or finances. And I was able to be there for my father-in-law. And it's all because I decided to find out how to find financial responsibility and stability where I wasn't trading dollars for hours, where more money wasn't the answer. I made so much money and I was still broke because I didn't know if it was coming in 30, 60, 90 days from now. You got to give up just transactional income. Go find some recurring income, whether it's through rentals or coaching or something where you know it's coming in. Who would rather have $10,000 a month in recurring income than $20,000 a month and who knows when it's coming in? Mm-hmm. Then from there, you got to get leveraged income. And if you don't know your numbers, your math, more is the answer. I'm going to tell you, more is what's hurting all of you. Some of you are working too hard and your ego's getting in the way. Stop being chicken. Be willing to go back to being a beginner. Get your teeth kicked in where you can stand up there and answer any objection that comes your way and help people make the decision to come here. Because I can tell you what, EXP, I said if I ever made $1 million here, I'd get the tattoo. Somebody called me out when I got to $2 million. When the stock hit $150 or $129, I sold all my stock at $150. You know why? I knew my numbers. I said, if this stock ever gets to $129, it changes our whole financial picture. Because I already knew if this, then that. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to go, what if it goes up? Who thinks selling all my stock at $150 was a pretty good choice looking back?
Yeah.
Here's why. I knew when enough was enough. I knew my numbers. I knew I didn't need more. I knew at $129 it allowed my wife and I to write a check that just changed our whole financial picture. Write this website down. www.connectwithhank.com.
Hank.
Connectwithhank.com. If any of you would like a call, book it. I will coach you for 45 minutes. Here's what I need you to have. I need you to have your balance sheet, assets, liabilities. I need you to have what your budget is, fixed expenses, variable expenses. Know your numbers, and I'll help you math out what decisions to make. Show up on time, show up ready, and I will pour into you. I'm not going to sell you. I'm not going to do anything else. Here's what I know. You come from contribution. You help enough people get what they want. You won't have to go chase people. So if you'd like, take me up on that call. I volunteer 10% of my time. I believe that all of you should be giving back. And if you reach back and help some people, our company's going to be better. Andrew's drawing me off the stage. One last thing. Where are our state brokers here? Where are our state brokers here? Will you stand up? Will you guys come up here real quick? I'm gonna ask a favor for our state brokers. If you look at the math, their job is our Achilles heel in our company. Who are leaders in here? Raise your hand. If you're a leader, that's all the leaders we have here.
I'm feeling everybody's contribution.
By the way, I'm not a leader, I'm a producer. I don't want to lead right now. I don't want to be up front. I'm not selfish. My family's the number one thing right now. I'm not a leader. I'm real clear about that. I'm a producer, and I'm ruthless with it. These are leaders. They got the hardest job in this company. And here's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask that we start protecting them. We start protecting them and cut off as many calls as we can that we can handle. Because I can promise you, we can handle probably 90% of the calls that they're fielding. And let's save them for the most important calls. And let's give them some relief so that they don't burn out and we have to recycle and go through that whole thing again. How many of you guys are willing to help us protect our brokers? Say out.
Woo!
All right, on that note, I'm past my time. And thank you for having me, Cincinnati. Go!